Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hen House. I'm so excited that you're here today watching. I have a most beautiful guest. Her name is Sharon from Svenson Hypnosis, and I can't wait to introduce her. I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm Angela Neufeld, and I'm a creative business strategist and productivity coach. I help multi-passionate women in business stop procrastinating, get more stuff done, get clarity, direction, focus, and create a concrete marketing and action plan so that they can create the inspired life and business that they love. And I'm really excited to have you, Sharon.
Hi. Thank you. Good to be here.
Awesome. So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Sharon Svenson. I am a deliberate creation coach. I've been doing this since 2005. And to me, what a deliberate creation coach is I help people to become empowered and really take charge of their lives, to come back into their joy and to their natural healthy bodies. So I really believe that we all have those abilities within. So, and hopefully we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, I love to. So I'm just going to read this little quick bit about Sharon because I want to get it perfect, and because since 2006, Sharon has guided hundreds of clients back to healthy bodies, peaceful minds, zestful, playful lives, and she's a catalyst to awaken and align their energy. I love that. That's so cool. Can you tell us more?
Well, I might sum it up in I am a power of the mind believer, and a lot of people I think are familiar with the law of attraction. And that's very much a part of what I do, that I believe that the purpose of life is joy. So what is so wonderful is during the sessions, we follow the joy, and by doing that, come into alignment really with all that we want. So I have had clients go from bedridden, incurable illnesses, to coming back into their healthy bodies and states and reclaiming their lives again. I've had people that have struggled with depression and left that behind. And also, not only do you leave after working with me healthier, but you leave with tools so that you have them to apply it to other areas in your life and to change really whatever you want. I feel like in my own life, I've been a testimonial to you can do the impossible. When I became a professional storyteller, and I came from a place where I had speech problems. I remember a roommate that I lived with just pointing out to me that, Sharon, you have real issues in being able to pronounce words. So I think it's just so wild that I ended up doing storytelling and then doing what I do today.
Wow, this is so powerful.
I remember just really admiring good writers, and I ended up, and I never thought that was anything that I could ever do, and I ended up writing children's stories. So I love, it's like everything is possible. I have learned to spin poi and fire dance, which I always felt myself physically uncoordinated. So I really believe in infinite possibilities. I've overcome social anxiety and depression, different physical ailments. So I want everybody to be able to do this. It's just so amazing what can happen when you utilize the power of your mind and use your emotions as guidance instead of to beat up on yourself.
Wow, that is so cool. I love it. There's so, like, I can't believe you wrote a children's story even in there.
Oh, I wrote probably about 15 children's stories.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. So, like, tapping into your emotions and really what you're doing is, so is this kind of what you take people through, the journey and the kind of the process that you take people through?
Well, the process is I use guided meditations. That's a big part of the sessions. To me, it's like I go to that knowing where you can go to. It's like I actually go to that vibration, that energy, so that you can step into that. But we have to have the tools so that you're going to stay there. So it's really a fast tracking of the process. I call my programs immersion programs because it's like we infuse you with this high vibrational energy. Part of the process is sifting through your different beliefs so that you have that awareness and that clarity, so that you can start to become aware of the different beliefs that are holding you back. So often we're trained up where we don't pay attention to our emotions, that we don't really get that it's guidance, and we don't get that we can change our thoughts. So I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times where people say, well, that's just the way I feel. There's nothing I can do about it. But there is. That's the beautiful thing. There really is. And we don't have to really put up and tolerate all those negative feelings. But to me, the emotions aren't something to use to beat up on ourselves, but you want to recognize where you're at. Like, for instance, if you're hanging out in a place of hopelessness or fear, you're not going to jump up to a wonderful, high vibrational space of joy. So like a child that came to you that was hanging out in a feeling of fear, we wouldn't say, oh, shut up, you know, go hide into a closet until you feel better. But as adults, that's really what we do. So that instead of, like you would for the child, giving them soothing and comfort and addressing those fears, we ignore them. So it's almost like we become numb because we don't know that we can change their emotions. I kind of equate it to, I never thought that I could do yoga. And I remember when I was first starting out, the teacher would correct me and she'd say, can you feel that? And I'd tell her, and I couldn't tell the difference between when I was doing it wrong and when I was doing it right, because I had learned to ignore my body.
Wow.
It's like growing up, you got your chores done and it didn't matter if, oh, are you tired, honey? Or do you need to take a break? You just did what you had to do. And it's the same thing with emotions too, where we learn to ignore them. So depending on where you're at, it can take time to get to that place of it's okay. So that's one of the first places that I start, that it's okay wherever you're at, and you can get to where you want to go. To start to come from a place of loving yourself and using your emotions as guidance, to me, is one of the big keys that I use in my work.
Fantastic. You know what I really love is what you said about the tools. Like, you're not going to just show them or tell them what to do, but you're actually going to tell them and show them the how to do it, how to maintain that, give them the tools to stay in that high vibe place. Like, that's where it's all fine and dandy to go, this is what you're supposed to be doing and this is how you get there, and then bye, you know, and you're giving them the tools and things that they can take home and they can utilize any minute of the day where they need that moment of, okay, I got to go get my mind.
Well, and in fact, part of the package that I do is, it's called an immersion program. So they have exercises throughout the week. So during the session too, we practice, how can you apply these tools into your life? Because to me, I don't want to be somebody's guide. I want them to tap into their own inner guidance and that beautiful connection, whether they call it spirit or higher power, or just their own wisdom, because I don't think we should have gurus. That really, we want to become our own guru. So that's a big part of what I'm about, self-empowerment.
Yay, I love it. So where do you get your inspiration from on a daily basis?
Well, I feel like the purpose of life is joy. So I love surprise and awe and evolution and learning new things. So I get it in lots of different ways. I love to, in fact, after our interview, I'm going to go to the gym and practice poi, which I just love. And for those that don't know what that is, you swing balls on the ends of ropes in geometric patterns.
Oh, how fun! Oh, that
You can
sounds
do
so neat.
LED lights or fire. You can put Kevlar and light them on fire. And I do that. I lead yoga, so it's fun to just kind of learn new things. And I love to hike, and I don't know, it's just all kinds of different things. I love to keep learning and evolving. So part of the fun too is coming up with new tools for clients, workshops. That just inspires me to go to new levels of clarity and inspiration. I'm always learning and growing too. So yeah, just tons of things. Friends, hanging out with them, family, being with my grandkids.
Aw, that's so cool. So I'd love to actually tap into a little bit of this excitement and hear some really fun tips or strategies that you could share with us. Do you have any that you want to share today?
Sure. I could share what I call the peace technique.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And it's just so easy. So we'll have you do that with me. And
it's okay.
all right.
Am I going to be ready for this?
Oh, it's just taking yourself into a nice, centered, and peaceful place, because from a place of peace, we're more clear-minded. That I think whenever you're moving forward, whether it's a goal or a decision in your life, it is going to serve you to come from a place of peace. And then the other beautiful thing is, since I think the purpose of life is joy, this is a way to take you back into that joyful place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you through it a couple times, and then we're going to have you go to that place on your own. All right. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate it. It's just so simple. You just go ahead. You just take a nice, comfortable breath. And then as you exhale, you close your eyes and you just totally let yourself relax. Facial muscles go soft and peaceful, and just let all the outside noises just guide you to this beautiful inward state. So go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, so that's the beginning of it. Now we're going to go to just kind of close your eyes for a moment, and I'm going to ask you to go to a joyful memory. And share that out loud if you don't mind.
With my eyes closed?
No, go ahead and open your eyes if you'd like, if it feels a little vulnerable with your eyes closed.
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually thought of a special memory of when I was a kid and we went camping to the Okanagan in my family's little camper. Back in the day, where we used to ride in the camper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my mom and dad were driving, and it just sparked a memory because we used to catch these tiny little fish there, and hundreds of them, and we'd make little rock pools and we put them in there. That's a fun memory.
Oh, fun. All right, so just kind of feel that beautiful space. And we're going to do the peace technique. And with the peace technique, then it's just kind of a time to just kind of not think so much about the memory, but just kind of relax into that beautiful feeling, if that makes any sense. Okay, so just go ahead, take a nice comfortable breath. And as you exhale, let your eyes close and shoulders relax, facial muscles soft, just centered, peaceful. And just allow the sound of my voice to guide you to this beautiful inward state. The sense of the cells just opening and receiving this soft energy, this peaceful feeling. And go ahead and open your eyes. What was your experience?
I was just still in that vision there as a little kid.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I was just kind of in that state.
So this technique you can go to, it's like as you practice, the suggestions compound, and over time you'll be able to go to that place of just taking a breath And you can even be talking to somebody and keep your eyes open, and to go to that beautiful, centered, and peaceful place. So our natural state to me is joy. It's our default state. But when we go to those places of fear and worry and anxiety, it's a sense of something's wrong. But it doesn't mean that there really is anything wrong. But there's a part of us that knows the purpose of life is joy. And when you come back into that place of centeredness and peace, don't you feel like you've come home? This feels right. It's like,
yeah, I feel really relaxed.
This is where I'm supposed to live. So, and you can do this technique on your own. You can go to different memories. For instance, let's say I was going to do a speech. I might go to a place of remembering really positive memories when I spoke in front of others and I felt really confident. And then I would do the peace technique, and so I could just build up that beautiful energy and momentum. And then when it came time to do the new speech, I would do my peace technique to get me to that beautiful place. So that's one of the tools. I've got lots of different ones.
Cool. Yes, because you're, and I get it. How you're putting yourself in that moment of something so just calming and peaceful and joyful, and to take, and just the anxiety and stress of whatever moment I was in there was.
Well, and just a caveat when you're using it too, that just like anything, when you're learning to drive a car, you wouldn't go into rush hour traffic. So it's the same thing with any kind of skill that you want to build up. So you don't want to use it necessarily. It's like, okay, I'm going on national TV. I'm going to practice and do it now. It's like, well, you probably should have been practicing and building up that skill before that.
Totally.
So, and
two things that just came to my mind. One being that when the moment between when you close your eyes and you open them, I don't know what it is. It is just this like magical moment where you coming out of that thing that you're so relaxed. And then the other thing I was thinking was that whenever I'm asked to go into those, think of something peaceful, and I don't try, it just comes up, but it's always in nature. It's always something outside. Yeah. It's always.
That makes so much sense.
It's interesting.
Because it's neutral. It doesn't bring up, nature probably doesn't talk back to you. It's not contrary. It doesn't tell you what you're doing wrong.
And for me, that's my most peaceful place, because I'm a hiker, I'm a walker. I love being outdoors. I love camping and fishing and hunting and all these things, and chickens and farming, and I just love, and gardening, and I just love my hands in the dirt, my face in getting sun rays and fresh air. And so that's really interesting. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, so if you practice it, it can be really a life-changing tool where it took you maybe 30 seconds or more to do that. Yeah. But if you practice it and utilize it in your life on a daily basis, it can be amazing. And I've been inspired by different clients that have used it. And
thank you. That was so fun. Yeah, that's so cool. So then when you're working with your clients at the end of the day, like, do you have your own special ways that you decompress that you could share with us?
Well, actually, often throughout the day, in between sessions, I will practice my poi, or I might do some yoga, or I make different hypnosis meditations for myself. So I do guided meditations for myself, and I'll use that, or I'll listen to different meditations too from other people. And I love to read and connect with my husband, or just do fun things with friends. So I love to hike, and I live in the mountains in Idaho, a really beautiful place. So there's lots of beautiful trails, and maybe I'll go for an evening hike, or all kinds of different things I love to do.
Yeah, it's so nice to know those things that, after a long day, that will just bring you back down, where you can just totally decompress.
But when I like when you're saying bring yourself back down, to me, I like to stay in that joyful, peaceful place all day long. And I feel like when I do sessions, when I do workshops, I do, things that kind of take me off track can be sometimes computer work.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm referring to, the daily tasks, maybe the technical things that aren't those, you know.
So if I feel like I've gotten out of balance and gone to a place of resistance, then I'll listen to a meditation or do something like that, or just watch a fun video, or that gags for laughs. That can
Yes, laughing can be one of those things like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Or call a friend or whatever.
For sure. Awesome. So like what kind of, like, I know what you bring so much to the table. Like you just have so much to offer. I can't.
Well, thank you.
Oh yeah, you're amazing, Sharon. And I just want you to tell us what is, I already know, but like tell everybody what's so unique and your special sauce, just because I ask everybody, but I can tell that you.
Well, like any good cook, when you're making a sauce, you have to make it with love. That's the secret ingredient. And I feel like that is one of my secret ingredients, to go to that place of unconditional love. So that I really come from a place of non-judgment, and help the client go to that beautiful space too. I feel like I really have that ability to go to that high vibration and know for them, even before they do, what's possible. So that's exhilarating and exciting for me to be able to hold that space. And as you probably know, just like in everybody's life, and when you're working with clients, that resistance comes up. But I don't let that daunt me, and I think that's one of my gifts too, to still see the beautiful vision and the picture, and to give them that unconditional love and hold their hands past that resistance. So, and then I have that beautiful tool of the guided meditation to really help you to, like you felt with the peace technique, you felt a softening. Well, when you're in that open, receptive, softer space, you see things more clearly. You're like, oh yeah, that is a crazy behavior that I'm doing, or that really isn't working out. And so it's like you leave behind the ego or that stubbornness, and you go to that place of, yeah, I really do want my life to work, and I am open and receptive. And in that beautiful space, then you can soak up and just have your whole being infused with the higher vibrations and those positive suggestions. So that would be my,
that's pretty awesome. I mean,
I guess, secret sauce.
Yeah, I love your sauce. I mean, you can't, it is so interesting to try and keep yourself in that high vibration. Like it's actually, sometimes it can become work. You really, but you also tend, when you're in that state longer, you tend to notice when you fall out of it, so you can get back on the wagon.
Oh, I love what you just said. Okay, so to me, it's not work going to the high vibration. What's work is the resistance, holding on to the resistance.
Yes.
That's so hard. So it's that feeling of a kind of struggle. But that when you let go, it feels so joyful and beautiful. And it's just so normal that people think that they're always going to be in that place. And it just doesn't work that way, because we always have new goals and dreams and places that we want to go to. So we're never up to par with all that we want. So that to me, when you go to a place of frustration, that's good. That's a sign that I want more, and I'm just not up to speed with it. And when you let go of the judgment of the frustration, then it's just like it just kind of dissolves and dissipates, and you remember again. So once again, it's like going to that place of not judging your emotions, but using them as guidance. It's like, I'm frustrated because I really want this and I can almost feel it, but I just don't quite know how to get there. But when you know, that's okay. That's okay if you don't know how
Yeah,
to get
that's the
there. That's
state
just
that I
so
was.
normal and natural.
Yeah, where you have already experienced that, being in that high vibe state, and recognize it, and you're in it for longer periods of time. So then when
Oh,
you're
and,
not
and
there,
that's, yes, that's a beautiful point. So the contrast, and that's good, lets you know when you're used to being in that high vibrational state. And then when you go to that contrasting feeling,
Mhm.
feeling the opposite of it, that's a good sign because it feels so awful because it's so far from the truth and so far from what you really know. So it's beautiful. And I warn people too, as we do the work, they're going to end up hanging out in more high vibrational places. They're going to be higher up on what I call the emotional guidance scale. And so when they go down to maybe fear or they drop back into hopelessness, there's going to be a huge gap between the two states now, and it's going to feel more intense, but that's good. Just like if you had a warning sign in your car, hello, the red light's going off, pay attention. And if you don't judge it, when you get, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Even if you feel awful, it's just not the serious thing that we give it. That it's really not the big deal, and you can get back on track. The first thing is to let it be okay.
Yeah,
It's
well, I like
okay
that.
I feel awful or I feel fearful or scared. It's just a part of me that really wants me to do well. And I'll even talk to my inner self. It's like, that's okay, Sharon, if you feel scared. That's okay
That's
if
okay, Ange. You can get back on the happy wagon in a minute.
exactly that there's just no judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it the path of unconditional love.
Oh, that's so cool. Like, and when you, like, before I really realized, a couple of years ago, is when I realized that there's this state that I'm in my flow and I'm just like at ease. And I just knew that when I was really recognizing this whole thing, mindset work and high vibrational states and things like that. And then, so then that is probably why I have such a, like, I instantly know, but before it would take so long to recognize that you'd fallen off and you couldn't figure out why. And that's why it's so cool with what you do, is because you're giving them the tools to get back into that state quicker.
Yeah.
They're not down there suffering and wondering, how do I fix this? It felt so great being up here. I'm not in that state anymore. I need those. I got tools. I have tools I can use to get me back into that.
And it's so normal too. And I've seen that again and again with clients. Well, in my own life, in workshops where it's like you'll get something. You'll have that, aha, this makes so much sense. I get it. And then you've got that other pattern of thought going, and it's still overriding that clarity in that moment. So you're like, well, what's wrong with me? What was that? It's like it just kind of floats away, and the next moment it's like you don't get it any longer because it takes time to override that
contradictory guy in the back of your head telling you not to.
Well, it's the other people's voices in our head too, and that's another big thing that I work with, is to let go of those other voices, to not take it personally, to not tap into their guidance system, but your own, because happiness really is an inside job. And it's so often we give our power over to everybody else. It's like we're letting them dictate our moods. It's like, well, I'm worried because you're worried, or I just want you to be happy, and I'll be happy when you're happy. Pardon?
That's so true, where you take on their issues.
Oh yeah, and we're social animals, and I think that's really normal, that we do want to be liked. And it can give us a feeling of safety too. It's like we don't want to be pushed out of the tribe, but that you have felt, because you've shared a little bit, that when you connect to that place where you just went with a peace technique that you've connected with before, it's the total opposite of feeling alone or fearful. It's a very safe feeling. So that truly is what's going to take us to that place. When we connect with whatever you might call it, your higher power, infinite intelligence, the universe source, then it feels safe, it feels connecting, it feels really beautiful. So that when you can connect with that, then more and more you can let go of giving your power away and really allowing other people to dictate your emotions or your direction in life too.
Sure, that's so true. So right now, what kind of clients are you like are attracted to you and are coming to you? What are they desiring to change? Like,
well, it seems like often some of the people originally come for smaller goals. I remember one of my first clients, he had the incurable illness and he basically was bedridden, and he came to me for pain relief. So that can often be a reason people come, or they want to lose weight, or they want to let go of an illness, something like fibromyalgia or panic and anxiety. But what I love is then it just opens up a whole new world and different possibilities. So he ended up releasing and getting off all his medication and getting his healthy body back. So, yeah.
that's powerful. That's really
Yeah, and that's what I love about this work is so much happens. I remember this one woman that came to me because she had been suicidal and depressed. In fact, had had 3 attempts that month. And she released her depression. And what was really beautiful is that she finished writing her book. She became more creative. It just opened the door to so much more. So that people go way beyond what they, I guess, originally come for.
wow. That's so juicy, Sharon. There's just so much.
I just love my work.
Well, okay, so tell us kind of what your new projects on the horizon look like and what you're doing these days and where to find you.
Well, I'm really excited. I have this retreat that I'm doing here in my lovely town of Garden Valley. I've got spots for either 2 people that will share a room or 1 more person. Otherwise, it's filled up. So people can check that out. It's a transformational workshop, and I have webinars that are going to be coming up. For those that are curious and they would like to know more about me, they can go to my website and they can sign up for my free gift. I give out every month a healing meditation. I have the Letting Go series that they'll get right away one of the first meditations to listen to. And I offer free consultations and sessions for people to just try me out. So I work with people all over, and by phone or Zoom or Skype.
Awesome.
And if they say that they saw me on your beautiful, wonderful show, I'll give them a 20% discount.
Oh, that's so cool. So say Hen House, girls. Sharon on the Hen House. I just think it's such a blast. I am just so grateful to have you. It was such a blast, and you're just such an amazing person and with so much gifts to offer. I hope that a lot of people can watch this and really tap into your amazing knowledge and get that little tidbits, what you took me through, and just see that that's like just a little tiny little piece of what you do. So thank you so much for being here. It was a real honor to have you.
Thank you for having me. You're a beautiful soul.
Aw, thanks, Sharon. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you want, Sharon, I'm going to have your website links underneath here and offer for your free session that you are offering. And maybe even if you have your retreat, we'll have her retreat information if there's still available space underneath the video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks. Bye, Sharon. Have a great night. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you.